The Titan shifted again, raising his halberd high overhead. For one terrible second, the screen flashed, obsidian cleave activated, scatter. Glyph shouted, but the samurai moved like liquid shadow. The halberd came down in a vertical arc, carving a glowing trench through the battlefield. Lava-like energy fountained up, turning half the arena into a molten hazard zone. Subdove too late again, losing another 40% health. "This is rigged," he bellowed. "No, this is a raid boss," Jin muttered darkly, swapping muskets mid-sprint. The battlefield was chaos, fire lines dividing our footing, regeneration constantly clawing the Titan's health bar back upward, and his massive frame stalking toward anyone who dared hold still. "New plan," I barked, vaulting back to long range on the opposite side of the arena. "Glyph, Jin, hold your corners. Sub, keep distance." Glyph caught on first. 4 corners chip damage. We box him in, bleed him from every side. Jin grunted. "Fine, at least until one of us gets flattened." But that wasn't my plan. Not really. My eyes were locked on the smoldering fragments of my fallen shadow ninjas. Obsidian's shattered helm gleamed among them, the armor intact even though the clone had been one-shot. If I equipped it, that stat boost could tip the balance, 20% across the board, stacked on my current loadout. But that meant charging into Titan's kill zone. I hesitated, bow drawn. The Titan's crimson eyes flickered toward me across the flames. If I lunged for the armor now, he'd crush me. So I made a choice. Pulling up my inventory, I toggled the Yumi. My upgraded bow shimmered into my hands, and I thumbed through attributes. Molten resin. I'd found it looting, a quirky bonus I hadn't tested yet. The tooltip flickered. Molten resin, projectile impact ignites, dealing burn damage over time. Perfect. I knocked the first arrow, drew back until the bowstring creaked, and let fly. The arrow struck the Titan's shoulder plate, not piercing, but burning. A dark patch glowed, heat lines spidering outward. The regeneration fought it, then stalled. Oh, Glyph saw it too. "That's it. Keep burning him." "Chip damage stacking with DOT," Jin muttered, suddenly more excited than scared. "This might actually work." I fired again, shifting my stance, raining arrows from my corner while they peppered from theirs. The Titan roared, energy boiling off him in sheets of firelight, but his bar, for the first time, dipped faster than it climbed. And for the first time since he'd gone Titan form, we weren't the ones being hunted. The battlefield shook. The Obsidian Samurai was now down to 50% of his health bar. The Obsidian Samurai stopped mid-step, its crimson eyes narrowing into slits as another cutscene ripped control away from us. His frame twisted, plates grinding, obsidian armor cracking open like volcanic rock. He rose higher, towering over us now, 10 feet tall, halberd gleaming like a reaper's scythe. Boss phase, Titan rampage, plus 15% all stats. The arena rumbled, and then the world went white with the first OE shockwave. "Brace!" Glyph roared, but it was too late. The halberd slammed into the ground, and a dome of obsidian energy rippled outward. My armor integrity dropped another 12%, and even Jin, always calm, skidded back on his heels. Sub went down hard, health bar plunging red. "Sub's out," I shouted. "Not yet," Jin barked, already kneeling. He popped a vial at Sub's lips. A healing potion flashed green across his HUD, pulling him back from the brink. Don't make me owe you," Sub coughed, staggering upright. But the samurai wasn't done. He unleashed another AoE, this one a swirling cyclone of obsidian shards that carved bleeding streaks across my health bar. Glyph caught a direct hit, armor integrity dropping by 20%. Even my shadow clones dissolved under the assault, fragments of armor littering the molten field. Then suddenly, the Titan stilled, his breathing ragged. The halberd dragged against the ground as if too heavy. I blinked. Oh, he's tired. Glyph squinted. "What?" "Oh, they've got a cooldown window." My eyes darted to the broken field, my fallen ninja's armor still glinting among the debris. "Cover me." Before they could stop me, I dashed. Fire singed my boots, obsidian shards rained down, but I slid through, snatching up the obsidian armor piece by piece. Equipped, obsidian armor, plus 20% all stats. A surge of strength pulsed through me. My stance shifted, faster, heavier, more deliberate. Even Glyph whistled when he saw the armor shimmer across my frame. Now that's an upgrade. The Titan shook himself back to life, bellowing his energy geysered from his frame. Another O tore the field apart, forcing us to scatter again. Keep firing, Jin barked, snapping another musket round into his weapon. His shots cracked across the samurai's torso. Sub cursed, loosing arrows like a man possessed. Glyph's gauntlet projectiles flared through the haze. And my molten resin arrows, those were the dagger in the giant's side. Every hit left burning streaks that clawed against his regeneration, forcing the health bar downward. The Titan roared, whipping into another rampage. His halberd cleaved stone, his strikes collapsing chunks of the arena. But I wasn't running anymore. I waited, heart hammering, until the next cool-down lull. The Titan sagged for half a second, halberd grinding low. That was my moment. I broke cover, bomb strapped to my belt, katana sheath at my side. Tester, I know, Dev's voice crackled faint through the comms feed, but I was already sprinting. The next cool down, I'd be right in his chest. Black powder bombs primed, ready to blow him apart. The Titan sagged. His halberd dipped for just half a second, my only window. Now, I roared, sprinting in. The arena blurred, obsidian rubble scattering under my boots. The samurai's molten breath seared the air as I dove beneath his guard, slapping black powder bombs against the cracks of his armor. 1, 2, 3. The final one I jammed into the hollow joint of his thigh before shoving off with everything I had. Boom. The world went white. Fire and obsidian shards tore the battlefield apart as the samurai staggered, his health bar plunging in one vicious drop, nearly 15% gone in a blink. Yes, Tester, you beautiful lunatic. Sub hooped through the comms, but the cheer died almost instantly. The Titan recovered. Too fast. His halberd swung wide in a brutal arc, a backhand strike catching me square. Crack. My HUD flared red, armor integrity plummeting from 68% to 17%. I hit the ground hard, blood blurring my vision. Tester. Glyph's voice cut in, sharp and panicked. I fumbled at my belt, slamming a healing potion against my lips. A green flare patched half my health back, but then the halberd came down again. Reflex more than skill. I whipped my TED-8 shield up. The blow shattered it, sparks and steel exploding around me. I rolled, coughing, and raised the Tate in desperation. The next downward strike slammed into it with the force of an avalanche. My arms screamed, armor alarms blared, but the shield held, barely. Move, you idiot, Glyph barked. Another strike. My Tate cracked down the center. One more, and I was finished. My HUD screamed at me, armor integrity collapsing to 4%. And then thump. A bohaya, a rocket-tipped spear, screamed across the battlefield, slamming into the samurai's torso. The explosion staggered him backward, obsidian shards scattering like broken glass. Gave you an opening, Glyph growled, gauntlet still smoking from the launch. Now take it. I stumbled to my feet, gulping another potion just to stay upright, my katana slipping free of its sheath. The Titan loomed, enraged but momentarily reeling. I had distance again. I had life again. And I wasn't done. We backed off, regrouping at the edges of the shattered arena. My armor was battered, my breaths heavy, but the adrenaline sharpened my senses. Stay sharp, Glyph warned, scanning for Eos. Every strike could end this. We switched to a chip damage strategy. Jin crouched behind a fractured wall, musket in hand, firing calculated bursts. Every hit chipped away at the obsidian samurai's enormous health bar. Sub darted between cover, arrows whistling in arcs that grazed and nicked the Titan's obsidian plates. Glyph worked his gauntlet projectiles, picking moments when the boss paused, keeping him distracted. I stayed mobile, using my upgraded Yumi with molten resin, loosing precise shots that sizzled across obsidian, slowly eroding his health. The boss swung wildly at mid-range, each AoE narrowly avoided. Every time his massive halberd slammed down, I rolled and dove behind cover, feeling the ground shudder beneath me. The air burned from residual explosions, and jagged shards of obsidian littered the battlefield, a constant hazard. I resummoned my Shadow Clone ninjas. My Shadow Clone ninjas flitted around the edges, absorbing minor strikes, keeping the boss occupied, their health fading like candlelight, but their sacrifices were critical. 4:49 minutes. It was a dance of survival. dodge the massive chip away at the health bar. Keep the clones alive just long enough to draw attention. Never expose yourself to a kill shot. The Obsidian Samurai slowed, fatigue clearly simulated in his AI, every attack slightly delayed. We pressed on. Each of our hits, though minor alone, compounded. Sparks flew. Armor creaked. Health bars dipped. Finally, the massive bar that had seemed endless in the cinematic cutscenes began to collapse. A final series of carefully aimed molten resin arrows, musket shots, and gauntlet projectiles brought the boss to his knees. With a final ground-shaking AoE, the Obsidian Samurai crumbled. Victory. Time elapsed, 49 minutes. Armor integrity, mine a mere 4%. Team morale, euphoric, exhausted, and shaky from close calls. The arena was quiet, smoke curling lazily from shattered stone. The Obsidian Samurai's massive form lay motionless, halberd buried deep in the obsidian floor. Victory hung in the air. Obsidian Samurai. Loot drop. The spoils glimmered differently for each of us. For me, tester. Obsidian armor, gold and onyx variant, plus 20% all stats, hidden function, shadow clone empowerment. Obsidian Nagamaki, plus 25% attack power, plus 10% durability, increased reach for melee. Mystic Flute, unlocks ninja shadow clone summons. Black powder bombs, fully restocked. Yumi bow upgrade, enhances range and damage. Crafting materials, caltrips, health potions, and a pouch of gold. 4. Glyph. Enhanced Bohia launcher with explosive upgrade. Reinforced gauntlets for increased projectile damage. Rare crafting materials, iron shards and fireproof cloth. Crafting materials, caltrips, health potions, and a pouch of gold. 4. Gen. Musket upgrade with improved accuracy and range. Rare arrow stock for the Yumi. Armor plating for defensive bonus. Crafting materials, caltrips, health potions, and a pouch of gold. For sub, katana with elemental enhancement. Stealth cloak giving a 30% agility boost. Black powder bomb upgrade. Crafting materials, caltrips, health potions, and a pouch of gold.